today in pre-cal we talked about solving trig equations. The first section we talked about was to collect like terms on one side. So in this example, you'll notice that you have two different groups of sign. To move them to the same side, you'll want to move either to the left or to the right. In this case, I'm going to move everything to the right side so that I only have to move things once. So I'm going to subtract sine of x from both sides so that this will cancel. On this side, I have the square root of 2. On the other side, I have negative sine x plus negative sine x, which is negative 2 sine of x. And then to get sine by itself, I'm going to divide both sides by negative 2. Those will cancel, and my sine of x equals negative root 2 over 2. Now, what I want to do with that information is to get x by itself. So I'm looking on my unit circle for where sine, or where the y value, is negative root 2 over 2. If I go around, my negative y values begin on the bottom half, and so negative root 2 over 2 is at 5 pi over 4, and again at 7 pi over 4. And so those are my two answers. And I could go ahead and keep going around the circle and finding coterminal angles, so anytime I add or subtract 2 pi. But instead I want you to just find me all of your answers between 0 and 2 pi, so just once around the unit circle. Part B, or the second type of thing that we learned, was how to do things that involve square roots. Example number 2 is 3 tangent squared x minus 1 equals 0. And I want to get x by itself eventually. I'm trying to solve for tangent of x, so I'm going to add 1 to both sides. 3 tangent squared of x equals 1. Divide both sides by 3. And the tangent squared of x equals 1/3. To get tangent by itself, I'm going to take the square root of both sides. Remember, when you take the square root of something, you're technically taking the positive or minus square root. The square root of 1 is 1, and the square root of 3 is square root of 3. In the past, we've always rationalized that so we can get rid of the square root on the bottom, and I'm going to do that again here. And so my final answer is tangent of x equals plus or minus the square root of 3 over 3. This form right here is going to be easier for you to use when you're looking at your unit circle, because you'll think tangent y over x, y, anywhere your y is 1/2 or negative 1/2, and anywhere your x is negative square root of 3 over 2 or positive square root of 3 over 2. So there's going to be 4 different values here. The places where that happens, it can be positive or negative. So 1 over square root of 3 would happen here at pi over 6. The negative form would be at 5 pi over 6, 1 over negative square root of 3. There would be another one at 7 pi over 6, and my final one at 11 pi over 6. Again, I just want you to list the values that happen between 0 and 2 pi. The third and final type that we learned today in class was what to do if we were dealing with some factoring. For example, number 3, if I have the cotangent of x times the cosine squared of x equals 2 times the cotangent of x. If I want to be able to factor something, I've got to move all of my like terms to the same side, so I'm going to subtract 2 cotangent of x from both sides. People all day today were confused here and tried to kind of subtract this and get negative cotangent. You cannot do that because this is cotangent cosine, which is not the same. These are not like terms. So you have cotangent of x, cosine squared of x, minus 2 cotangent of x equals 0. I'm going to factor out the cotangent of x, which is cosine squared x minus 2, and set that equal to 0. Sorry, I'm having some space issues here. There we go. So cotangent of x equals 0, and cosine squared of x minus 2 equals 0. This one's already solved. We'll just have to find that on our unit circle. On this one, I'm going to add 2 to both sides, and take the square root. And I'll get plus or minus the square root of 2. If I think about cotangent, cotangent is my x over y. I want that to be 0, so that's anywhere that my x value is 0 and my y value is something else. Where that happens is at pi over 2 and 3 pi over 2. Again, that's where my cotangent value is 0. My x value is 0. And on this one, cosine of x, which would be my x value, is plus or minus the square root of 2. That does not happen anywhere. We do have where there's square root of 2 over 2, but there's no displayed square root of 2. So there's no solution to that half, meaning this is my full answer. Your assignment is just like this. It's A6, and that's page 396, numbers 8 to 15. Good luck. Let me know if you have questions. Also, A6 and 7 will be due on Friday since we're quickly approaching spring break.